What is going on, everybody? Thank you so much for joining me on What's the 411. Today is Monday, September 25th. I know, September 25th, right? Like time is just flying, but I'm excited. Fall is here and I'm ready to jump right into this conversation. We have a very special guest all the way from New York City. Okay, so let me just let her introduce herself and we can get this interview started. So go ahead and introduce yourself.
Thank you. So firstly, thank you, Miss Ellie. Have I said your name correctly?
Yes, yes, yes.
Thank you for inviting me to your show. My name is Sheilla Akwara. I live in New York, but I was born in Kenya and I came here when I was about like 15 and a half, 16. And I am a mental health advocate. I preach the word. I'm a Christian. I'm also a singer, and I'm an author, right? So I do quite a bit of things, like mostly on my platform on Instagram and TikTok. A lot of people know me for like my faith work, but definitely heavy into mental health as well. Yeah.
Okay, so talk to us about the singing and the authoring and all of that stuff. I did not know. Talk to us about singing first. When did you get started?
Since I was like baby, when I was in my mother's womb. No, a lot of people don't know this about me. And I've been thinking about like launching my music, my actual album. I have like little bits and pieces of my music like online, but I don't have like an album yet. I just feel like I think life happened and I got involved in like my mental health work and I was moving a lot. I was traveling a lot. I was in South Africa for like about close to 5 years. And then I was in Italy, then I was in Kenya, then I came back here. So it's kind of like trying to find that time to really focus on the things that really matter to you. And if I've been singing since I was like, a little kid, definitely music matters to me. So I look forward to doing that. I want to at least release one single before the end of this year. I'm excited about that.
Okay. I may at the end of this ask you to drop a little tune for us. We'll see. We'll see how it goes.
Like that's putting me on the spot. So what is going on?
I have to put you on the spot. Got to put you on the spot. But I was watching your content, and a lot of your content, of course, just drew me in because you speak a lot of truth. You speak a lot of things that are just easily to be able to relate to. So, talk to us about what started you putting this content out on Instagram or YouTube or TikTok. Talk about it.
Yeah, me posting on like faith, like I said, mostly a lot of people know me to post about like my faith, God, what I've learned so far, what he's taught me about spiritual warfare and all of these things. It wasn't something that I planned to do by myself. If it was just up to me, honestly speaking, I would be not even posting, to be quite honest, as much as I'm posting. Instagram for me was like my little library, where I could connect with a few close friends. So there were times when my Instagram was actually private, but I don't know, things just changed in like 2016. And God was like, you need to share what I'm telling you. And it was so scary because a lot of people from my Instagram page, especially, they know me from, old Sheila. And that's when I knew I feel like I was trying to please people and not really stepping out into my purpose. And I was afraid that they were going to unfollow me. I was afraid they're going to be like, what is she talking about? Oh my gosh, she's talking about God. And I felt that way because I knew what some of them thought about just God in general. So it wasn't an easy thing. Even you seeing me post, there are times when I even question, like, am I posting too much? Am I talking too much about God? And just trying to see how to balance out my mental health work with what I'm posting. But the desire to see people like set free from depression and suicidal issues, that's kind of like where it came from. I battled against depression and suicidal issues, ideation and attempts from like a young age. I want to say like 9 years old. And I never knew that God would rescue me. I'm just being honest. I was the type of person to be like, hey, believe in what you want to believe. You want to worship trees? Cool. If it makes you happy. You want to bow down and swim with rocks? Cool. If it makes you happy. I just didn't care. That's your life. But, I started to change and I saw myself kind of like becoming different and feeling the need to share with other people. And what has helped me is seeing the response from people. I get a lot of DMs, can't even respond to all of them. And a lot of people are like, wow, Sheilla, I was able to overcome this. I was able to overcome that. This actually encouraged me and showed me that I was going down the right path, and keeps encouraging me day to day to like continue talking about it.
100%, I feel you. Well, I mean, you have a way with words. You definitely know how to break things down perfectly in order for people to understand, because there's a lot of things that we go through in life, and we need sometimes somebody else to be able to have that relatable conversation, to understand that we're not alone in that struggle. So as you're speaking about mental health, you're speaking about spiritual warfare. How what exactly led you to put out that first video? What was it that you were like, you know what, I have to start this conversation needs to be had, because there's not a lot of people that you're going to find that are going to be real about the spiritual warfare that we're dealing with out here on a daily basis. So what was it that drew you to actually start the conversation?
There's a verse where Jeremiah said, like, your word is like fire shut up in my bones and I can't contain it. Like I had to let it out. So that's kind of like what drove me. I don't know, have you ever woken up, whether you're a teacher or a doctor, whatever you're passionate about, and you just feel like, I just need to share this information. I need to post about it. It was that. And what was crazy, if you go to my TikTok and you see my initial videos, I was actually posting other people's like content. So like I would post like, some of my favorite like sermons or a favorite like gospel song that I liked. And it wasn't really me and, showing my face and speaking, because I didn't have that boldness yet. But as time went on, I posted like a little video and I was like, okay, like, 300 views, I could take that. That was not too much for me to be like, oh my gosh, it's a lot of people. And that's another thing. When my videos do some numbers, like whether it's 300,000 or whatever numbers, it's a little not intimidating. Some people might like that, but I'm just like, oh my gosh, like the comments sometimes, it's so overwhelming. People don't even know that that's how I feel. But that was like the genesis of it all. I just felt like I wanted to share what was inside of me, to share what gave me freedom. And, talking about spiritual warfare, a lot of people don't really know how to fight using faith. And so when it comes to like mental health work and mental health topics, there's such a huge emphasis on the biomedical approach, use of medicine and so on. And there's nothing wrong with medicine. I have friends who take medicine and it's helped them. There's nothing wrong with therapy. I'm a huge advocate of therapy. Please see a therapist. When you see a therapist, when you take medicine, it doesn't make you less of a Christian, less of a, a person of faith. Use all of the tools that are accessible to you. But I want people to know that there's also faith, and there's nothing for you to be ashamed of when it comes to you walking that path. But however, with me saying this, Jenga Africa, which is my organization that deals with mental health, it is not a religious organization. So there's no like one specific religion where it's like, this is a Christian organization, because I want to help whoever needs help. So we partner with different therapists, we partner with different organizations, we partner with different mentors, just to bring those tools and resources and support that could be able to help a young person who's in need.
So talk about your passion for mental health and your business, Jenga Africa. Talk about it and let us know exactly where that was birthed and what you guys do.
Okay, so Jenga Africa is all about building healthy futures for young people, beginning with the continent of Africa and then to the world. I actually remember how it started. I was talking to my friend on the phone. I was in South Africa at that time. I was visiting New York. And I was talking to her on the phone and I was telling her, friend, I want to start something to help people, to help young people, like an organization or a company. And we literally went through different options. And then I said, wait, why am I thinking about all of these different options instead of using what I have, what has been taught to me, what I overcame? Because I always say that what you go through in life is linked to who you're supposed to be. Like a lot of people are so lost when it comes to what is my passion, what is my mission in life. But whatever you're supposed to do, you've been trained by it. I'm sorry, I'm going to drop another scripture. David, when he was about to fight Goliath, when he faced Goliath, he went and he told the king, I can take him out. And the king put on this, the armor for him to use to fight and gave him all of these tools. And David tried to step, but he was so big and baggy on him. And he said, nope, he took them off and he said, I haven't been trained by this. Let me use what I've been trained by. And he took the stones and the slingshot. So in the same way, don't choose something that you haven't been trained by. Look at your life and look at the patterns and look at the themes. Like, what have I gone through that can be able to benefit somebody else? What obstacle have I been able to overcome that I can teach other people to overcome? So as I'm on the phone with my friend, I'm like, friend, I've overcome like depression and suicidal issues and anxiety and all of these things. What if I start like a movement and start something to help other people who've gone through the same? That's literally how it started. Just a conversation on the side of the road in New York City. And everything just started like that. And it started by me going to Kenya, me going to my primary school, me going to the first school that I attempted suicide when I was like a little kid, and me speaking to the young people. When I stepped into that school, when I saw the kids, I knew I had to be there. I knew I had to speak to them and to give them life. And, you start things little by little, right? I have this huge, oh my gosh, if you just see the vision that I have. I want to partner with presidents. I want to partner with African governments. I want to partner with different governments because I want to change policy. I want to influence policy at that level so that it can trickle down to the school systems and so on. So it started off that way, mentoring kids, then doing pilot study programs. And, this took me to a lot of influential places like the UN, giving talks about what I do. And I'm just so excited to expand the work that we're doing. And we mostly focus on young people, right? So like primary schools and secondary schools, because, I was a child who had no help when I started my battle. Yeah.
My gosh, you're just running through that like, do, but you got to big up yourself. You definitely have made some huge waves. You're doing some great work. So that is amazing. But I would like for you to go back a little bit and talk to us about, you said you were in primary school or in elementary school and you attempted to, take your life. Talk to us about the journey that you personally have been on with depression and suicide attempts and help us to understand how you overcame all of these things.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, that was a dark time. That was such a dark time. I was, I'm Kenyan, so I'm African. And in the African culture, we don't really talk that much about mental health. In today's world, in 2023, we're doing so much more. So, and I applaud all of the activists, the mental health advocates, and every individual and organization that is playing a role in this. But when it was my time, we didn't really have these conversations, number one. Number two, when it comes to like an African family, there's so much like discipline, especially, corporal punishment in school, being caned in school, but also being caned at home. And so I went through that, both at home and both at school. And the one thing that I keep remembering, and I tried to have this conversation with my mom, is just not being believed as a child. So somebody will come and report something about Sheilla, and the decision was that I was guilty and I was caned. So imagine if you have been accused of something at school, you're caned at school, then you go back home because the headmaster or whoever reports you to your parents, and then you're caned at home as well, school and home. And for me, life just got unbearable. And I'm like, I am a little kid. What have I done to deserve this? Everywhere I turned, someone was making up a lie. And I'm like, that's not true. So it made me feel like something was wrong with me. And what's the point of me being alive if no one is going to believe me? I had my diary. It's so sad, but I know that that's what I went through then. Obviously, I understand things now better, but I had a diary where I would write like, who will stand up for me, like who will love me. And I would draw like a heart shape, and it's broken inside just because it was such a dark cloud surrounding me at that time. So things got to a head. One time I was at school, and the headmaster for the school, mind you, this was a very, very prominent school in Kenya. one of the best. Like if you get your kid in there, you are sorted, okay? Like prominent politicians had their kids there, right? So kids who had money. And my mom at that point, she wasn't like super loaded rich, but she, you know, she was doing her PhD in the UK. So she had money to take all of us to private schools. And me and my younger sister were there. And they used to beat us a lot to, you know, perform well in you know, in our exams. You'd be told like, okay, Miss Ellie, this exam is 50 points. You have to get, you know, 45 out of 50. Now, if you get 20, deduct what you're supposed to get, 45 minus 20, and that's how many times you would be beaten. Whether it's like on your hands, if they get tired, flip your hands, and just some teachers just beat you everywhere. So that's kind of like what I went through. But the biggest thing that just drove me to the edge was one day we were called, me and my 7 friends. We had this crew of 7 girls we used to hang out with. It was a boarding school. We were called to the headmaster's office and they accused us of being lesbians. Let me tell you something. I didn't even know what that word meant. Okay. And there's a lot of different reports about this when it comes to like boarding schools and girls. But as for me, Sheilla Akwara, I did not do those things. I didn't know what that was, but it didn't matter. Like I say, this pattern of you try to defend yourself and nothing was being believed. And they called us to the office. They even tried to force us to write letters to admit to the guilt. I didn't even remember that. One of my friends told me that, and the other ones confirmed, but we apparently said no. None of us said yes. And they just made up a whole bunch of lies. They even documented what we used to do in the dorm that never happened. So it's like what kind of demonic activity is this? It was so crazy. So we were beaten really badly. And then they called our parents. My mom, my dad, they didn't believe me. I was caned some more when I got home. And so when I got back to school, I just felt like, what's the point of living? I'm done. And that's when I attempted to take my life. And it was so crazy because it was on a Sunday and we were having service in the cafeteria. And while we were worshiping, there's this song, Swahili song that says, Hakuna Mungu kama wewe, Hakuna Mungu kama wewe, Hakuna Mungu kama wewe, Ewe Mungu wangu. Then you say, Nasema asante. So it means like, there's no God like you, there's no God like you, oh Lord my God. So I say thank you. Nobody knew that I'd consumed a whole bunch of pills. And when I said a whole bunch, over 80 pills. I took pills that were enough to take me out purposely. Mind you, I didn't know what suicide was at that time. I didn't know what depression was. I didn't have that terminology. I was just tired of being accused of things that I didn't do, and I wanted out. So the night before I planned it, when no one was looking, I went to the little clinic place. I lined up the pills, I took them, and I went to the cafeteria like I didn't do anything. And so as soon as we finished worshiping and I sat down, I saw clouds. My eyesight just went blurry. And I panicked and I got up and I'm stumbling. These 2 ladies helped me to go to the dorm. I was literally being dragged. They put me on my bed and they left. They didn't even know what I did. I could have died that day. But thankfully, nothing happened because I'm here. I passed out and I was unconscious. And I remember hearing this voice when I was in the dream saying, you'll never kill yourself again. And even if you try, it won't work. And I didn't know what that was. But when I woke up, I just started to throw up all of the pills. It was so aggressive. It took like 30 minutes, just me running to the bathroom and throwing out the pills, up the pills. And after that, I was better. Nobody knew what I did. Nobody knew what happened. And after that, I didn't tell my parents what happened, but I forced them to take me out of that school. And a lot of my friends, those ones who are accused of also being lesbians, they were taken out for the most part. As an adult, one of my friends told me that the lie was created by a girl who was envious of our group. And I don't know if she had tried to be part of us and we said, no, I can't remember, we're so young. But she went and she lied to this teacher and the teacher went and told the headmaster. And that's kind of like how it started. So apparently she apologized, but I'm like, do you know what you did? This is how much what a lie can do, the danger that it can cause. So that was my journey then. And obviously back in Kenya, we weren't really talking about mental health at that time. So it just, was something that I had to just live with and hide inside of me until I came to the US.
Goodness. Well, we definitely know that there's a reason for everything. So that's what you had to go through at the time. But thankfully, you're here today to share your story and to help other people relate and get through whatever it is that they're going through, because that's super powerful. Very, very powerful. So I guess that is your reason for, advocating for mental health, for advocating for depression and all of these things. What are some of the keys that helped you to overcome depression, even when you came to the US? What are some of the things that you did to help yourself to be at the place that you are right now?
Well, before I found my faith, before I found God, I think for me, the biggest thing was just to have trusted individuals to talk to. I know we hear that all the time, but it's really important. Depression would want you to isolate yourself. It will make you look at everyone as an enemy. It will make you see rejection when there's no rejection, right? Because you live what you learn. So all of the things that I went through when I was young, even though now I don't have to defend myself from anything because I didn't have the tools to let go of that, it just kind of like moved with me. And so when you are surrounded by like positive people, strong people, people who can speak life to you, it could slowly start to shed off those layers. It doesn't even really have to be a therapist, but a therapist is important because they have that, professional knowledge and expertise. But if you don't have the money to get a therapist, find a mentor. Don't tell me that, oh, Sheilla, there's nobody to talk to me. Even your neighbor, the one that you don't say hi to, right? Someone at the store, at your office, some colleague that you can trust. But the point is, don't try to close yourself off as if there's nobody to help you, nobody to talk to. So that's the biggest thing that helped me, as I was journeying on. And these individuals will see my gift, right? So they'll be like, hey, Sheilla, you could sing, like focus on your music and do all of these things. But the greatest thing that ever happened to me was, God found me. And he found me when I wasn't even looking. I wasn't looking. I wasn't, like I say, deep in my faith. I was out in the world as deep as it can be. I was clubbing. None of my friends were believers of anything, forget Christianity. So it was so amazing for me to find help that way, but it was also shocking because I never knew that was possible. And, it was just one prayer, one night, and everything changed for me. And here I am, so happy to be here. I never wanted to take my life, but when you don't know who you are, then the world will tell you who you're not. And you'll start to believe in the things that are not you. And you start to ascribe labels to yourself that do not even belong to you. But I'm so glad that part of my journey is done and dusted and washed away, and I pray that other people will find themselves in whichever way they, take that journey of healing. And give God a chance. Just do it. I'm not forcing you, but it helped me. It did.
You definitely got to give us a story. Tell us like what happened, what changed.
Like, what do you mean what changed? Like, what changed between the old Sheilla and who I am today?
How did God find you? Tell us the story.
That story is super long, so we're not going to go through the long way. And it might be too technical for maybe your audience, but there's something called deliverance in the Christian faith, and deliverance is just being set free in Jesus' name. And it's not anything that I did. I didn't have to go through any lengthy process to overcome like my problems. I didn't have to read 5 million books. To be quite honest, I was even clubbing deep, even after I got delivered, because I didn't know my identity. Because a lot of times people think that you have to be in a particular state for God to help you. And that's what I felt like, right? I felt like, why am I suffering so much? What did I do wrong so that I can stop doing it? Like, who did I hurt so I can go and say sorry? Like, what is going on with me? And mind you, even though I went through all of those painful moments, I don't want to just blame like the school or blame my family. I adopted like negative habits and patterns, hanging around the wrong people, being influenced by the wrong people, just being stubborn and all of that, all of those different habits. But, God didn't put a list for me to like fulfill before he came and helped me. I think one day I was just in my room and I was just like, I'm done. I can't do this anymore. This was in 2013. I was just going to like, this time, it's going to work. I know the message you gave me when I was 13 that it will never work, and it never worked. I tried to attempt my life so many times and God would not let me die. And I'm like, why are you keeping me here? So it was just one night in my room. My mom was there, my sister was there, my family friends were there. And yeah, it was quite a scene. I went through prayer for like 3 hours. And after that, everything just left. Like, I don't even know how to describe it, but I'm writing my book where I'm detailing like everything in deep detail. And I say like, it's as if my mind was removed and a new one was put. And it's as if my heart was transformed. I felt this fire in my chest that I never felt. And I felt this joy that I never felt. And I'm like, wait, so this is what happiness feels like? And I'm like, wow, I'm like in my early 20s and I've never tasted happiness until now. And I started to say, God, please, I don't want to lose this. So every morning when I would wake up, I would check to see that, okay, that flame was burnt. Yeah, like I just needed to make sure, like, is this real? And there's a scripture in the Bible that says, whom the sun sets free is free indeed. And sure enough, that was in 2013. And I'm still here and I'm still happy. I've not been depressed. I've not been suicidal. And this is the lie of the enemy, to use your painful moments, your painful stories, your painful journey to make you feel like, oh, you see, nothing is happening. Look at all of these seeds that you're planting. Nobody cares. Nobody's, coming to help you. And you start to confess negatively. And the danger with you confessing negative things about yourself, it becomes a self-fulfilled prophecy. And it actually begins to happen. And then you begin to think, see, this is how my life has always been. It's so miserable. But you're confessing it and you're reaffirming things that are not even true. So yeah, the process was just prayer. It was prayer one night. It took 3 hours. It was a very interesting scene. What happened in my house. My mom was traumatized. Read the book so you can get all the details. I'll send it to you when it's ready so you can share it with your audience if they wish to read it. But, prayer is powerful. Prayer is powerful. Yeah.
My gosh, I cannot wait to get the book. So definitely let me know when when you have it all ready so that we could tap in and check it out. Yeah, my gosh, that's definitely interesting. I can't wait to read that. The journey seems like it would be something to want to, take in. And not only that, just to encourage others too, based on, we all go through a similar journey. It may not be exactly the same, but there's a lot of similarities, that we could definitely tap into. So yeah, I can't wait to get that. So talk to us about the feedback that you get from your videos, because there's so many videos. I could watch your videos back to back to back and I'm like, yep, okay, I understand this is okay, this is making perfect sense. Like, talk to us about the feedback that you get.
I get a lot of feedback, positive feedback from the content that I share. A lot of people are able to relate with my journey. They're able to see similarities. And I've realized that the best way to reach people is not to be ambiguous about your journey. We're not saying share everything, right? You need to have some secrecy as well. But once I started to open up and share, like, yeah, this is what I went through. This is where my mind was at. This is how I overcame. It's different when you use like lived experience, especially when it comes to any type of work. It forms a better connection with people. So I started to use that, and a lot of people would message me like, Sheilla, this is exactly what I'm going through. Thank you so much. You spoke to me. And some people would be like, you know what? You overcame that, but I'm still struggling. And I did kind of like what you've already detailed. What more can I do? And I'll be able to like give them further help. And there've been like a few individuals, not everybody, but the ones that have been there with me from the very, very beginning. I do make time for them We actually talk on the phone, and their lives have been, improving and so on. So the feedback has been positive. With any type of content, especially when it's these types of difficult topics, you're always going to get like that one person or that, those two people who want to challenge what you're saying. You're a woman, you're not supposed to speak about God, cover your head. Does she have lipstick? What is that? Oh my gosh, she has a tattoo, or oh my gosh, cover your arms. But in the beginning, I used to respond to such people. But as I went on, I'm not here to prove myself to anybody. I'm here to just connect with the people that are supposed to hear my message. If my message is for you, you're going to hear it. If it's not for you, that is fine. I hope that one day you can circle back and come back. But yeah, so far though, honestly speaking, 99.9999%, it's been amazing.
That's good. That's good. Talk about your legacy. Talk about what impact you're trying to leave on the community, on the world, because you're out here, you're in New York, but you're definitely touching people all over the world. Because I mean, I'm over in Canada, I see your videos. I'm sure there's people that are messaging you from all over the place. So talk about the impact that you are leaving on this world.
I want people to find themselves. I want people to know their own authentic voice. In a world full of many, many voices, who are you? A lot of people don't move forward, or they're hesitant, or they have imposter syndrome because there's this comparison thing that they do, looking at themselves through the eyes of other people, right? And the one thing that I don't like that people like to do is, when they're about to post content, they're researching what other people are doing. And researching is not bad, right? We have to research to know what people are talking about. But I'm talking about this group. They research so that they can copy paste what this person said on their platform. Like, not even giving credit, not saying, oh my gosh, Miss Ellie was talking about. No, it's now become my content. I have even seen people go as far as saying word to word what somebody said. I don't know if you've heard of those stories on TikTok, where like someone was caught and they couldn't even say sorry. It's like, how can you even try to lie? Like, word for word, you lifted this. And it's really sad to see such scenarios, because it shows that you do not know yourself, but you don't believe in your own authentic voice. And when you know yourself, you find yourself, right? When you accept yourself. And the thing that I always say is, we are all unique beings. The glory that you carry is not the glory that I carry. Like, for example, Rihanna, she has a makeup line. And not a lot of people, one time I was trying to start this company, and I was hesitating a lot. And my sister came to me and she said, Sheila, you're the one who tells me that, Rihanna started her makeup line, even though other people had makeup lines, and she's so successful, so it was a good reminder. So for you to understand that, yes, we have a whole bunch of makeup lines, but we don't have a makeup line by you. We don't have it from your perspective. You are the differentiator. We don't need to have makeup, made from an oak tree from Brazil. This is what makes it different, right? It could be packaged different. It could be, it's makeup, but it's from you and you're from Canada, and you using this particular strategy. So just find your voice so you can find yourself in this melting pot of so many opinions and so many views. Who are you? So my legacy is to help people find themselves.
And that's not easy. It's not easy to tap into who you are, because there's so much voices. There's so, you grow up in this environment, you grow up with your friends, your brothers and sisters, your parents, your teachers, people telling you who you should be, or what you're supposed to be, so it's not always easy to find your voice, but it definitely is. It is possible.
It's reminding me of, I've seen when people are trying to go out there and carry out the vision, sometimes they might get like a negative comment where someone comes to, call them like a liar, or this does not even make sense. Or some people are like, even you're ugly, or just all of these hateful comments that affect people. And you have to remember that just shows the state of that person's heart. It's not reflective of who you are, but it's reflective of who they are. If they can be hateful towards other people, they can be bullies towards other people. I wonder what they say about themselves inside their hearts, because it's not even so much as it's sad that they're saying it to you, but what are you saying to yourself? So when I see such comments, I don't even engage. I say a silent prayer and I delete the comment. This is my house, okay? My platform is my house. You're not going to walk up to my house and talk anyhow. If you don't know how to behave, I will delete the comment until you learn how to behave. If you come back with the same tone, you will get blocked, you know? So just learn to filter out all of those negative voices. Yes, there are people who give you like positive criticism or criticism from a place of, I want you to grow. Know the difference so that you don't feel attacked all the time. But also when someone is just being hateful, don't take it to heart, delete. That's why we have delete, but just delete. That's not me. I do not accept it. I reject it. I rebuke it. Delete it. Get to be friends with that delete button and that block button. That's why it's there, you know?
I have to agree. I have to agree with you on that. And there's a proverb that says, if there's no enemy within, then the enemy outside can't hurt you. So if you don't feel that way about yourself, then nothing outside is going to bother you anyways. You have to have that confidence inside of yourself. So I agree. Yeah. Block and delete. Control, just delete.
Listen to that song, that audio on Instagram, and I think TikTok. If anybody pressures you this year, what you can do, block them, delete them, remove them from it. Let me tell you, I do that. No, my peace is so precious. Your peace is so precious. I will protect it. Leave me alone. Let me be, please. If you think that, you know, I'm not delivering what you want me to deliver, I pray that you find that person for you. Not even from a place of malice, because I don't know what you're going through to write that. Like, it must be tough for you. So I pray for you. I'm not going to hate on you. I pray for you.
I pray for them. It's true, because that's it. You spoke it. You said it. It's where your heart is. You speak from the inside. So if negative things are coming out of you, then you don't feel good about yourself. Exactly. If you're always gossiping, complaining, you know, murmuring, those things that come outside of you, then that is a product of who you are, you know? So just gotta stay away from all of that. Stay away from all that. So what keeps you motivated? What keeps you going every day? You're putting out all this content. How do you do it?
What keeps me going? Just the fact that I can put a smile on someone's face. I know that sounds so cliche. I know it does. But I'm the type of person, and I wonder how many people do this. Like, I could be going to catch the train and I see someone, maybe they swiped their card and they're looking for change and they're looking around and the train is there. I promise you, I will just take my phone. Toop. They're like, oh my gosh, thank you. And I'm like, no problem. I am always looking for someone to help, even when I'm outside. Sometimes it's so hard for me to pass by a homeless person and not help them. I have to tell myself, like, Sheilla, you've already given X amount of money. Go home. I'm like, oh God, I'm so sorry. I can't give them money right now, but let me pray for them. God, please send someone to help them. Send someone to help them. So what motivates me is knowing that I have touched a life, knowing that from what I've spoken, from my teachings or an encounter with me, they're like, wow, you know, you encourage me so much. Like, if you can do this, then I can do this too. This is why I share my story. It's not easy to be vulnerable, to share your story, because you are exposing yourself to judgment. But if I've just touched one person's life, that's more than enough. Just when people are happy, it makes me happy. I don't know how to describe. Even right now I'm saying it, I'm just filled with like love in my heart. That's just kind of like how I am. Just help somebody.
Yeah, I love that. And so talk about your business, Django Africa, and how we can connect, how if somebody wanted to tap in to support it, like talk to us, where can we get the information?
So my website is jengaafrica.com. But I also, I'm on TikTok, I'm on Instagram, mostly focusing on growing our account on Instagram. It's at jenga.africa on Instagram. You know, for now, we're focused heavily on advocacy and building a platform that young people can be able to benefit from in schools, primary schools and secondary schools. In Kenya, we're going to expand to like South Africa, you know, Tanzania, Uganda, Zambia, different countries, Gambia as well. But if you want to learn more about our work, just send me an email as well, info@jengaafrica.com. If you want to partner with us, if you have an amazing product that you think can be able to help young people, get in touch with us. If you're looking for help just in general, we're also connected to different organizations that could be able to help you. Get in touch with us. In the future, the best way would be, we're still working out the kinks, but if you're in any school, primary school, secondary school, you can get resources to our platform. But if you're not, and you're still a young person, just contact us and we can see how to connect. Okay. If you're a foundation and you come across this video, we're looking for money, okay? We need to expand. So contact me and stop playing, okay? Bill Gates, whoever you are. Listen, you never know.
You never know. You got to put it out there. You got to put it out there.
Yeah.
But the name Jenga Africa, what does that mean? Like, where does that come from?
Yeah, Jenga is a Swahili word that means to build. So building Africa, we aim to build Africa through, suicide prevention programs. We aim to build Africa, through food programs, through different types of programs that can be able to empower young people.
Beautiful, beautiful. And so how can we stay in touch with you? You got to plug yourself. Let us know where to find your personal plugs as well on Instagram and stuff.
Yeah, just my name, Sheilla Akwara, @Sheilla Akwara everywhere. YouTube, same name. TikTok, same name. Everywhere. Just put @Sheilla Akwara and follow me on there. And we're going to be having a retreat at some point in the future. We wanted to do it this year, but I think we're going to push it till like maybe April-ish, May. Next year is going to be our first in-person retreat. We have a lot of online programs. So if you're free and you want to join and connect, and if you want to just find yourself, break free from any addiction, break free from any negative pattern, negative mindset, that will be for you. You will get set free, I promise. Things are going to change for you. Yeah.
Right. All right. So we'll look out for that coming next spring, 2020. Yeah. Okay. And so
2023 is gone. It's just
what happened?
Yeah, it zoomed past us.
Zoom passed. I mean, we still got a couple of months to organize ourselves, to make plans for the beginning of 2024 and to also make sure that we can execute any plans that we made for this year. So we still have a bit of time, but it's September, it's the end of the month.
I don't even think we had summer. See, you're in Canada. I don't know if you felt that time zooming past like we did. I feel like we've been robbed off of summer. We need to have a do-over. It's gone so quickly. It wasn't even as hot as it was 2 years ago. It's just been very mellow, very rainy, cloudy. Yeah.
We had the same type of weather. It wasn't the greatest summer, and it did still go fast. I feel like the years are just flying by faster and faster every single year. You know? Yeah. So what are you going to do? But of course, you get the last word. So I would like to know if you have a motivational quote or even a scripture, something that you go by on a daily basis that you use to help yourself, that you believe would be a benefit to help somebody else.
Yeah. I just want to encourage everyone to take ownership of your battle. Whatever you're going through is a mountain that you have to overcome, because at the other side, you get a crown, right? Don't be so quick to judge everything as an attack. I'm being attacked, or the devil's attacking me. Don't give credit to the devil when God is trying to do and accomplish something in your life. Every moment is a chance for you to learn something, to gain insight, to become a sharper version of you, right? So take ownership of your battle. I know that some of you might have been a victim here and there, when I was young, the things that happened to me, I was a child, right? I didn't ask for them. I didn't do anything to deserve it. But don't have that victim mindset. Those things happen when you were young. Let's try to find a way to move forward and to overcome those hurdles, because the danger in you remaining in that same spot is you don't get to discover all of the amazing things that lie on the other side. When you guys see me smiling and laughing, I was a troubled child. Okay. I had deep depression, anxiety, and so many other things that I haven't even shared. I don't even think I'll share the full extent of my journey, but I hope that people are encouraged by seeing who I am today, seeing where God has taken me to the halls of the UN. There are people that I work with that I've not even mentioned. I'm protecting those connections. The doors that God has opened for me, I never, ever would have thought that that would happen for me. So take ownership of your battle, knowing that you are more than a conqueror, right? There's a scripture that says, greater is he that is in me than he that is in the world. And another one that says, those who are with me are more than those who are with the world. So you actually have more help than you think. You have more support and resources. And the secret is in you taking that first step. When you take that first step, everything will connect. And stop worrying about where the money is going to come from. Stop worrying about, how you're going to do something. Your job is to take that first step. God will connect the rest. Stop having that defeatist mindset of, no one is here to help me, so I'm not going to go forward. Your job is to go forward. And lastly, there's a scripture in Deuteronomy 9 from, I think, verse 1 to 4, verse 1 to 3. I love it, especially if you read it from I always go to the KJV or NKJV, but you can read it from the Good News translation because it has a specific word. God says that he will go ahead of you and he will defeat your enemies for you as you advance, right? So as you keep taking that first step, God will move and do the rest for you. And enemies doesn't have to mean just enemies like spiritual warfare. There is something that is holding you back. Maybe it's money, whatever it is. God is saying, as you advance, as you take that step, the way will be cleared. But if you keep remaining constant, like stagnant, nothing will ever happen. Take ownership of your journey, take ownership of your battle, and know that at the other side of that mountain is a crown. Go get your crown.
Okay. All right. I love that. Definitely, speaking life into the people. We need it out here. So we appreciate you. But no, honestly, I just want to thank you for coming on. Thank you for answering my DM. I was like, let me just try to reach out to her and see if she responds. And you did. So I do appreciate that, honestly. Your content is awesome. You have some extremely fruitful videos that are definitely a blessing, And if you guys haven't tapped into her videos, even if you don't relate to 1, 2, or 3 of them, she's got a slew of videos. There's something that you definitely are going to relate to, 100%.
And thank you for inviting me. And, I speak blessings and life into your projects. And I can't wait to see you do even more and bigger and greater things. And you're going to do it.
Appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you very much. And the same to you. Bless everything that you're doing. I ask God to continue to shine his light upon you because we can see it. Definitely. It's not just the lighting, guys. She got that light. Yes. All right, guys. So thank you guys for joining us. That is a wrap for What's the 411 today. Of course, it's September 25th. I am going to be tapping in with you guys again on Thursday. We have a special interview that had to be rescheduled, a conversation that has been long awaited for years and years and years. I've been waiting to talk to this lady. So I'm about to post that video so that you guys can check it out on Thursday at 8 o'clock right here. I'm not sure if I'm going to do it on Instagram or if I'm going to do it here. We're going to see what's going on, but we're going to figure it out, guys. I'll definitely let you know. All right. So thank you so much. I appreciate you and I will see you on Thursday. Okay. Take care, guys. Have a good one. Bye.